Good afternoon and welcome to Friday, May 13th, Friday the 13th, for another edition of Fashion Flair Friday. I'm Marian Gelletley. I'm your host every week, and I love to help women look and feel great about how they're showing up in the world, no matter what they do in life. I especially love to work with women 50 and better. So last week, I started the conversation about the universal style model that I use to help women really be able to determine what their style elements are. And this is a system that I have used for years. I think it is something that is not perfect, but it certainly gives a lot of clues about what makes you happy. So last week, I decided to go ahead and start the conversation about universal style because I'm seeing so many things in the marketplace right now that definitely are taking on that personality of femininity and maybe a little romance. So that started the conversation. I now want to go ahead and continue it because certainly that's one small part of a style personality, but there are, six other styles that I want to share with you. So I thought over the next couple of weeks, I would do just that. So let me just remind you that this is what the um, universal style heptagon looks like. And on the top, in the white, you will see the three classic styles. Usually you will find yourself, at least a part of yourself, in one of these categories, either sporty, traditional, or elegant. Now on the bottom, in the black, are the non-classic styles, the dramatic, the creative, the alluring, or the feminine, which is what we touched upon last week. So I thought it would be important to go back now to the classic styles. Today I'm only going to have time to do two of them, but next week I'll pick up the third and then continue on with some of the non-classic styles. So today what I want to focus on is the sporty style and the traditional style, because those are the two classic styles that I see very commonly um, as a starting point or a basis for building a style. Now, if you come on and join me, go ahead and just say hello so that I know you're here. And as I always say, if you're going to catch this on replay, which many people do, then go ahead and put the hashtag replay in the comment section so that I know that you have been here. I always encourage you, please, to go ahead and pop your questions in so that I can respond to them. And even if I don't see them during the live, I can always go back later. I'm always looking for ideas to do these live. So if you've got a burning question, it would be a great topic for me to talk about. So let's get started on the sporty and the traditional style. All right. The sporty woman. Maybe we could start here. Kind of a prototype, just again in line drawings to give you an overall feeling about this particular style personality. So if you find yourself that you like to have fun, or you like to reduce stress, or you like to be approachable, then a sporty style is a great style. Now, what I have said to you before, last week, and I'm going to say it again today, usually you are not just one style, but could sporty be the basis of the beginning of your style personality? So sporty says, I'm approachable, I'm easygoing, I'm energetic, I'm youthful, I like to have fun. And you can just see that sporty woman in your life. If it's not you, I'm sure you have people in your life that are sporty. If you do think you have this personality, then make sure you go ahead and say, yeah, I think maybe there's a part of me that does have sporty in me. So, how do you get the look? Well, first of all, the sporty personality doesn't like to wear clothes that are confining or body conforming. She's somebody that really prefers things that are a little looser, and she likes to layer her clothing. Let's see if I have an example. So there would be an example. She likes to wear that layer piece, whether it's a jean jacket or whether it's a cardigan sweater, but she likes that layering. You can also see another thing here that is very common in the sporty personality is she likes to wear chambray shirts or denim of all sorts. And she also likes to wear multiple colors together at one time. So in this picture, even though it's kind of subtle, you see blue and green and white. And so, combinations of color. Now, other style personalities don't like to do this. So if you're somebody that does like to combine quite a number of colors together, maybe that would give you a little bit of a hint. It's not unusual for her to combine 3 or 4 different colors together. And these are just perfect examples of a sporty style personality. And these pictures here, I think, have come out of, several of them have come out of the Talbot's catalog. So Talbot's does a great job for that person that does want the more sporty look. They also do a great job for the person that wants the traditional look, but I find more sporty than traditional for Talbot's. But look at the combinations of colors. Look at the jean jacket. Look at the casual shoes. She's somebody that loves to wear sneakers even when they're not in style. It's just her go-to. She loves natural fibers. She loves linens and cottons. And she would do maybe in a trouser, she'd do a lightweight wool. But you can see all very colorful. So our sporty personality, because she likes to have fun, loves color in her wardrobe. So when you go to your closet, what do you see? Do you see a lot of color? How about in terms of blouses? Look at the checks, the stripes, look at the one right in the center with the lemon pattern on it. Again, fun. Fun and colorful is the mantra for the sporty personality. She likes to roll up her sleeves or push up her sleeves. She likes to add some colorful accessories. She'll do a headband. She'll do a scarf tied around her head. But she doesn't like a lot of big, bold, chunky jewelry. She likes to keep it kind of small and unobtrusive because she likes the clothes to stand out. She will wear scarves, however, and here's a great example, too, of look at combining the color, tying a scarf around the neck, and off she goes. And look at even the t-shirts have some sort of a little pattern on them, a butterfly or a floral. So fun, fun, fun is the mantra. Here again is her favorite type of a jacket. And espadrilles are something that she enjoys wearing for spring and summer. But look at under the jean jacket, there's color under there. And here are more examples of the kinds of blouses that we would see in her closet. So the question I have for you is, do you see any part of this in your closet? Let's see, I see Betty here. Hi, Betty. Hi, Janice. Nice to see both of you. Are either of you looking at the sporty personality as being a possibility for you? I think I know the answer, but what do you think? And also even colorful shoes. She does like to wear dresses. She loves to wear shirt dresses. She loves to wear, the stripes. And there's a casual, knit for summer. And also, here I think is a great example that she might do this professionally, where she's going to wear a blazer, but look at the blazer. It's either going to be colorful or it's going to have some sort of a geometric pattern to it. It could also have a floral, but I find that the sporty kind of likes her checks and likes her plaids. And even the sweater that she has on underneath that has multiple colors, multiple stripes in it. So she is not afraid to combine a lot of different things together because, again, she likes to have fun. So this particular style personality, she loves the outdoors. This is a great look for business casual. It's a great look for leisure time. And the key items for the style, for the sporty style, are jeans and tanks and tees and sweatshirts and jackets, cargo pants, parkas and fleece jackets, sneakers, athletic shoes of some sort. And she's most apt to carry a backpack over her shoulder rather than a structured handbag. So that's our one classic personality. The second one I want to talk about today is traditional. So Diane says yes, and Janice says jean jackets, regular and white. And boy, this is the year for jean jackets in color, white, black, navy, pink, yellow, greens, royal blues. So if you're a jean jacket lover, this is the year to be doing your buying. All right, so the second classic style in the universal style system is traditional. And the traditional prototype might look like this. Okay? So that's a very different look, isn't it? It's definitely more serious. It's more grounded. It almost has a look that says, I'm responsible and I'm trustworthy and I'm credible and I'm authoritative. And so there was a big point in my life when I wore a lot of traditional bases of my style because I was doing so much work in the corporate arena. But once I got away from doing so much corporate work, suddenly I didn't need to be quite that buttoned up. So that may have been a style personality of yours at one time, and maybe because life has changed and you've changed, maybe your style has changed and you don't need that. So let's go ahead and identify a little bit of who she is. So she likes to be more, let's see if I can get this right here, a little more buttoned up and a little more matched. Okay, and a very pulled together look done here, I think, in a very modern way. But she likes coordinates. She likes her jacket and her jacket and her skirt, or her jacket and her pants, to match. She likes to make sure that she doesn't use a lot of color. She loves neutrals. She loves her browns and her blacks and her navies and maybe a cranberry or a forest green or maybe even a deep goldenrod color if she's going to add color. So she's not going to do all the fun pinks and the robin's egg blue and all the purples that are out right now because, again, her look is more conservative. This is a look that is great for conservative business. It's good for serious events. And maybe you have something in your closet. Sometimes I'll go into women's closets and they'll say, well, I'm keeping this in case I have to go to a funeral. So, yeah, it's got a whole different read, doesn't it, from the sporty personality. She loves also some menswear patterns. So she loves to wear houndstooth and she loves small checks. She also loves, patterns in her blouses, but look at the geometry, look at the geometrics in that pattern. So, and two colors, basically we see a black here and a white, but there is a little pop, it looks like, of a rust in there as well. But not a lot of poppy colors. These are serious sorts of colors. Here's another example of the kinds of patterns you might find in her closet, which are very different than the ones that I showed you for the sporty style. So there I know is still for me a little holdover to some of these style preferences in my closet, because I do love these kinds of patterns better than I like sporty, for sure. And maybe that's just because of my business um, background, but also I think a bit of my personality. And remember, style is meant to express your personality. Here would be another example of what a traditional style would be, um, with a skirt or a pant, a cream color blouse, but look at all tonal, all kind of saying the same thing in terms of color, all the variations of the creams to browns. I don't see any color here, right? So this is what a traditional likes to do. She likes things that are coordinated. So she likes a coordinated handbag with her shoes. She likes her hair to be styled pretty neatly and simply. She likes to wear neutral, moderate makeup. She doesn't, whereas the sporty, by the way, really doesn't like to wear makeup all that much. It's kind of a nuisance for her. So she's pretty much au natural, and her hair is pretty natural as well. She doesn't spend a lot of time um, coiffing her hair. She might pull it up in a bun or pull it back in a ponytail, and that's that natural personality. So the key items for the traditional person is she happens to like the matched suit and matched pantsuit. And of course, those aren't real easy to find right at the moment because we have come out of, COVID, and we've come out of a pretty natural, casual environment for the last 3 years, 4 years actually. And right now, there are some matched pieces that are coming back in, but there's not a lot of them. Let's put it that way. She definitely likes a classic structured blazer. So she will wear that classic blazer. She may wear them over a pair of trousers. She is less inclined to wear jeans. She prefers tailored trousers to a casual jean or to a cargo pant or to a chino. She likes shirtwaist dresses. Here would be an example of a dress that a traditional would do versus remember what the sporty did. She had that little cotton knit with the blue and white stripe, very different in its look. She likes leather bags, leather compartment bags. She's not going to put a duffel bag over her shoulder. That's just really not her thing. And she likes usually mid-heeled leathered pumps. She likes also a comfort walking shoes, but she's not wild about the sneaker fad. So you can see two very different classic styles. And let me see whether we have any comments. Nancy, these videos are so helpful. Okay. Okay. You still feel a sense of dread when it comes to shopping. Well, I think that that's not unusual. If you really haven't clearly defined your style personality, I think it does make it more difficult. So defining your style personality is probably the very first place I would start with somebody like you, so we can get a clear picture of exactly the kinds of preferences, the kinds of things you do in your life, your personality, your preferences. All of those things have to come together in an identifying way so you can say, this is me and this is what I want people to know about me. So this is just giving you a little snippet of the kinds of things that I like to share with my clients to help them begin to hone in on whatever their style personality is. So I could say that maybe I'm a sporty traditional, or maybe I could say I'm a traditional sporty, or maybe I could say, using the romantic style personality that we talked about last week, maybe we could say I am a feminine or romantic traditional. So there are ways you can take elements from each of these styles that I'm explaining to you and put them together in a way that really makes your heart sing. So next week, I'm going to be talking about the third classic style, which is the elegant style. And I have part of my heart is in that elegant personality, but I'm not 100% elegant. There is definitely a part of me that is a maybe an elegant traditional. So I can see myself in the traditional as well. So anyway, I hope this doesn't confuse you. I hope what it's doing is it's having you think about, what are the things based on what I've said today and what I've said last week? What are the clues that you can take as you're putting together your style? And in my empowered style program, which I'm actually just finishing up with one group of students next week, I will be repeating this course, this 3-month course, starting in August. And one of the things we do in that program is we do really clearly define what the style recipe is for each student so that they can actually see it, they can speak it, they can articulate it, and then when they go into the store, they know that they can eliminate 90% of what's in the store and really hone in on the 10% that works for them. So, Janice, yeah, you found out you're a traditional with a touch of crazy. Well, I don't know. I think you've got some real elegance as well, too. But I think, yes, you do have some traditional and crazy. Okay, well, whatever. Let's see, Nancy, you said COVID has made it a time to wear something nice top and not, oh, yes, and not worry about the rest. However, I'm finding that, even though today I can sit here and maybe be nice on top and maybe I could have my jeans on in the bottom, you know, I have to go out and see a client this afternoon. So, or I have to go to a networking event, or I have to go out to dinner now or go out to lunch. So I think we all are getting back out there now. And so we can't really ignore the bottom half, or at least we need to make sure that we've got a couple of wonderful things for the bottom that just gives us comfort and fits our body well. So those are, the kinds of things in the Empowered Style program where I talk about the 7 pillars of building a style. Part of it is, of course, identifying the style personality. Part of it is knowing what colors work for you and for your personal coloring. Part of it is knowing your body and what works on the body that you have and the proportions that you have and the shape that you have. And that kind of dictates, okay, the kinds of fabrics that you really like to wear on your body, depending on whether you're muscular or molded or whether you're actually bony. So that dictates fabrication. So it's something that we don't get taught in school. It's something that we have to learn over time. And of course, I've spent 30 years doing this work, so I pretty well have it nailed down now as to guiding women as to what's going to work for them and what is not. So that is it for this week. I hope that's helped you a little bit. Just see yourself maybe in one camp or another predominantly, and maybe a little touch of one or the other, flowing through into the universal style. So next week, as I said, we're going to be talking about the elegant right here. And we already talked about the feminine. So I think what we're going to do is maybe do dramatic. I think we'll do a little creative, and maybe we'll have time to do the alluring. I'm not sure. But from business, we're not going to see too much of alluring. At least I hope we don't. But in evenings in our social life, we just might. And I can tell you there's a little touch of me that likes some alluring, but it's not my clothes. So I'll tell you more about that later. So that's it for this week. Let me just check one last time, see if there are any other comments or questions. I don't see any. So, ladies, thank you for joining me. Oh, Janice, hi. Janice Sexton, nice to see you. Definitely sporty for you. Well, great having all of you here today, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week. And I would say to those of you that haven't commented about what you think maybe your style might be, just from what I've explained to you today, go ahead and think about that and then come back and say, I think maybe I'm this predominantly. I know you're not that exclusively, but did you see any of that sporty in you? Did you see any of that traditional in you? Did you see any of that romantic from last week or that feminine style? And just start articulating it, claiming it, and then knowing that it's not cast in stone, that it is all changeable, but it helps you begin to just start putting a stake in the ground. So that's it for now. And I will look forward to seeing you all back here next Friday at 12 noon Pacific time. So take care. Happy Friday the 13th. Bye bye now.